this is an amazing conference, and I'm very glad to be here because it's very cool, and there's things that make me feel old. Like I can't read the little words, and I can't hear what people say, and I usually feel young and vibrant and amazing. And I think I know why. Because I work in healthcare, and healthcare sucks. And so it occurs to me that my speech today is to say that if you want to be as young and vibrant and impactful as you can possibly be with technology and the internet, you should go from what you're doing today into healthcare. I will make this case to you in the next 14 minutes. First of all, there's a lot of money there. 18% of the gross domestic product of the United States is spent in healthcare, and still 62 million people don't claim a primary care doctor. 85% of seniors don't get a checkup every year. 85% of seniors, and it's free, by the way. And we are currently crushing Pakistan in terms of the life expectancy that we create for our citizens. So that's a pretty good place. If you're looking for a place that even you can make an impact, I'm just putting it out there that that's a good starting point. If you click even closer, you'll see that inside the healthcare system, they are not rolling around tickling each other with joy. The average doctor doesn't know what happens to 55% of the things that she orders. Literally a black hole, which in a world where everybody knows who pooped and who tweeted every second of the collision conference is a pretty astounding thing. The doctor gets to spend about 8 minutes with patients, 50% of which is typing shit in that is to be used for malpractice insurance protection and billing defense. You've probably experienced this if you've ever been to the doctor. As a result, 59% of doctors don't recommend being a doctor. 2014 was that survey. It's the first time in US history that the majority of physicians don't recommend being a physician. So, in general, just incredibly depressingly sucky, which really should be a sign of an impending oil rush. Anybody can make this better. I swear to you, even me. The big opportunity in healthcare is with the death of the established information systems and the emergence of the information platforms and networks that we see all over collision today. But I'm going to take you through, because healthcare is actually living in ancient history, and none of you were alive in ancient history, I'm going to give you kind of 2 chapters of ancient history before I take you to the opportunity that exists in healthcare today. Chapter 1, whereas most computer systems today are enterprise software, it's a very small number of big enterprise software companies that dominate all the doctors' offices and hospitals in the country. Their big challenge was intraoperability, the ability for one department in the hospital to talk to another department in the hospital. And the excuse here is that many of these departments only started creating digital information in the last 20 years. I don't know if you guys remember, but remember x-rays used to be like a piece of film that you put up in front of a piece of glass to look at it? That doesn't happen anymore, but it wasn't that long ago that that information was digital. And so, same thing with labs. Labs used to be introverted dudes in the basement with microscopes. Now they're giant machines from Siemens that run cartridges of blood through analyzer and generate digital information. So all these different departments, as the information in them started to become digital, needed to talk to each other. All the hospital systems in the United States today and doctor's office systems in the United States today talk about the ability to connect themselves to themselves. This, in fact, is a very common diagram. You can see there's the Siemens lab and the GE X-ray management system. You even have there in the corner, I don't know if you can see it, they do actually have room for the internet. It's that little thing there in the corner. So the result is most hospitals are, have you noticed they're buying up all the doctors? Like, do you see like your local hospital's logo on every little doctor's office now? It's because the only way they can get care to connect is if they buy up the people generating the information and put them on the one copy of the on-premise application software that they have, which is retarded because you can't build an ark with everything on it in a free country. which is leading to right now the era of what we call inter-access, which is the ability for the cloud to talk to on-premise systems in a consistent, reliable way so that the business model of healthcare can change. We all know United spent $500 million for 7 years in a row building out their beautiful get all your tickets from me website. Delta did the same thing. They did a very nice job. But none of us actually use these things just the way we don't use doctors don't use hospitals, because if we use Kayak, we can get the best that's on the United site matched up with the best that's on the US Air site, and we get a better ticket, right? So we've learned to sit on top of aggregators that take advantage of the internet to see the best in a lot of places, which is not possible in healthcare today. And yet, or hasn't been possible until recently. And yet, if you look what's going on, after these hospitals bought up all these doctors' offices and labs and pharmacies, so 22% of doctors were employed by a hospital when Obama was inaugurated in the first term. Today it's 60%. So they bought all these guys up, put them in that little biosphere bubble, but then life kept happening. All of these, has anyone noticed the retail clinics, like Minute Clinic, and Target has a clinic, Walmart's announced they're having clinics, and they're actually dealing with the people who've said, you know, healthcare's too annoying. They're collecting patients and the hospital's going, oh shit, I need those patients. And so after putting everybody on on-premise software, they're now saying, I gotta connect to those people. Just the way United said, oh shit, I can't fight Kayak. I actually need to get Kayak to like me and TripAdvisor and everybody else, because they've suddenly accumulated people that might buy my empty seats, right? This is what it looks like in healthcare. This is the first kind of Kayak in healthcare. It sucks, it's ours, but it's better than all the other ones, which is why I think you should come to healthcare. Essentially, it just scrapes all the data from all the places that George Miller has been. It reconciles a few things that doctors need to see. What are George's allergies? What drugs is he on? What problems is he being treated for? And then kind of a Facebook wall of where has George been seen? This literally does not exist in the United States today in front of any doctors, except for the pilots. There's like 10 doctors, which is weird. You would think when you go to the doctor's office, they would see everywhere you've been, and they don't. And then, of course, what we can do, since most of the places this patient has been are on-premise software-based places that aren't connected to the web, is we can build single sign-on linkages into each of their dinosaur data centers. So here we are clicking on George's visit from the emergency room of some hospital that's on a company called Cerner, and there's the record inside of that, you know, pre-internet, perfectly good on-premise software. Just like TripAdvisor. In my company, we've so far the only company that's sort of only will serve people on the cloud. We've now got 60 million patients, about 62,000 docs, which is about 10% of the country. And we maintain 165,000 of these little interfaces. It sucks. So what I'm hoping will happen as a result of this speech right now is that all of you will come with your super awesome mobile cloud, figure out what to do with an iWatch insight, and bring it to healthcare and connect to Athena via API with cool apps that doctors need, that patients need, that doctors could prescribe, so that I don't have to go out and build 165,000 connections to every single on-premise copy of whatever dinosaur software is out there. I really need, in order to prosper, for those companies to die and for you guys to eat their lunch. And of course, you guys know what open platform, in fact, it's kind of interesting. Kayak and TripAdvisor only last year got their first API feed into the big airlines and the big hotel chains. So just this year, it's possible for you to sit on Kayak and click that book button and actually execute the ticket. You can actually use Kayak now as a virtual remote for some of the airlines and hotel chains. That wasn't even true a year ago. It's pretty amazing because we sort of take for granted that that's how we roll, right? Well, it needs to happen in healthcare, and we're ready to do it. Here's a couple of the fledgling new companies that have done this in healthcare. One is a company that takes radiology images. Because each hospital doesn't generate enough X-ray images to give a doctor what he specializes in, the doctor ends up doing a brain, a breast, a bone, kind of sometimes he's too busy, sometimes he's bored. What this does is it pulls all those images into the cloud and allows doctors like Uber to specialize in what they rock at, do more of them and do them better. So you imagine the rules engine, there's the doctor's database, that allows him to see only the images he's good at. He cranks them out, and then he can tune what images he wants to see across lots of hospitals. Creates better quality, it's cheaper. There's other ones. This is a company that does nothing but really good growth mapping of babies' height, growth charts on babies. That's shared across all kinds of doctors' offices that used to just use the World Health Organization chart from 1955. Here's another one that does nothing but rheumatology, little joint swelling. There are lots of rheumatologists in the country, but there's not a lot of them in any one group. So they're lonely, they can't compare notes. If they jump on this app, no matter what medical record their group is on, they can be in the same work environment as thousands of rheumatologists who aren't in their group, which makes them better. We've got only 131 API endpoints today. There's 700 that we should have in place that we're building, and we're trying to attract people to leave cool, sexy, porn, social, game, whatever you do here, and come and build apps in healthcare where you'll change the world and make it more affordable, less expensive. Please, God, don't make it more expensive. And things will look like this. Instead of the big Noah's Ark where everything's in that hospital and no one can get to it, more and more care will be instantly accessible online. About 35% of everything doctors do today, they don't actually need to be face-to-face with the patient, and they would do a better job if they could see more of it. And they could make more money making it cheaper. So this is my dream. It's going to be very lonely for you to leave this cool place, and you will feel like this guy if you come to healthcare. So there's this big, huge collision party, and this is the only guy who's leaving the collision conference saying, no, I'm switching into healthcare. And everyone is finding him to be a huge loser. But if you watch, he believes he's got something important. And he's going to keep rocking his healthcare shit until one fat dude joins him, and there he is. Now he's got two guys. This is what I think it's like to actually start an entrepreneurial venture. This is exactly how I felt when I started Athena Health in my basement 17 years ago. I'm rocking this thing in a world of people who think that I'm very weak in the mind and emotionally unstable, which may have been true, but little by little, do you realize does it feel like forever? It's only been 30 seconds. Okay, I did it for like 10 years till we broke even. He's still going. He's not afraid. I'm going to put you through the agony, because if you then go into healthcare after you've seen this, you will change the world. Okay, one more fat dude. So we're making progress. We've tripled the adopters of the mobile first healthcare cloud that doesn't exist yet. 3 dudes, 4 dudes. Okay, it's still only dudes, which is a little weird. Girls! Here it comes. Does it feel like it's been forever? This is what it's like to go into a space where everybody isn't already thronged. And when you get there and people show up and they like it, it's ecstasy. Oh, look at that. I don't know if you can tell, but this concert, these guys are in the cheap, like the lawn seats above. And if you look carefully, people are actually climbing over the fence from the good seats up to the cheap seats. This is my dream for healthcare cloud, is that people actually climb from the good seats in social, mobile, travel, whatever you guys do here, into the cheap seats where people are still buying on-premise software and spending 7 years installing it. It'll be amazing, and I hope you guys come and make me feel as cool as that guy does and is relieved. That's all I have for you, except for, of course, the normal warning that sometimes that guy looks like that, and sometimes, oh, infomercial. If you're curious, athenahealth.com/more disruption, please, MDP. That's our marketplace. We're supporting, funding, housing, connecting, helping cross-sell new ventures that are building cloud apps into healthcare. We've got 135 member companies. We take them to Washington. We take them to San Francisco during the JP Morgan conference to get capital. We take them camping in Maine every summer. We've got 722 customers that have bought in so far to the marketplace. We have 5,000 to go. Or you can email us at businessdevelopment@athenahealth.com. The only warning in my last 19 seconds is it's possible that you will end up like the dude who danced alone and rocked the show, and it's possible that you could be Frank the Tank. I don't know, but if you knew, you would do it and it wouldn't be interesting. Thank you guys very much. I'm out of time. Godspeed.